Hello, friends. Here is your asynchronous lesson for Thursday/Friday, February 18th and 19th. Inferring a central theme is our main goal today. So just a reminder, complete the do now in your classwork document. It looks like this. So make sure you do this do now, summarize this passage in your own words, and then answer these two multiple choice questions. That's all you need to do for the do now. We will review it next week. So if you haven't done that yet, go do it now. Okay, we're back. I'm assuming you did the do now. Some announcements. Just a reminder, if you're an ELD student, you need to do your diagnostic in IXL. That was last Monday's assignment. So if you didn't do that, please make sure you do that before next week, because we're gonna start giving like practices in IXL next week. So make sure you do that. I will have office hours on Monday, both sessions as usual. So please stop by if you struggle with today's classwork, or if you're struggling with anything else at all. And then I'm recording this video on Wednesday evening. Who knows what else could come up? So make sure you're checking Google Classroom for any other announcements that may occur to me later as I try to fall asleep. Who knows? That's usually what I'm thinking about when I try to fall asleep. Announcements. Okay, one important announcement. Some people are still missing the transition words quiz. If you are one of these people, make this a priority. Get this quiz in. It is dragging your grade down if you didn't do it. And then same thing with the exit ticket from Unit 4, Lesson 7. You can find it in that linked in that classwork document, Unit 4, Lesson 7. Just look under Unit 4 materials. These people still did not do that exit ticket. So pause, look for your name. If you didn't do it yet, do it. Okay, so we're talking about how to infer a central theme. So in your document here, you have space to take notes on the steps that I am taking. So do that as I talk through this model. So central theme, or let's talk about some vocabulary words first. So infer means you're drawing a conclusion based on close reading, whatever it is you're reading. So even when that conclusion is not explicitly stated in the text, you can still infer it, right? It's an educated guess, basically. So Toni Morrison is not stating in the text, the theme here is that beauty standards are unrealistic or racist or whatever, right? She's not stating that in the text. You are inferring these themes as we read this book, right? And then a central theme is a complex idea or social commentary about the world or society, right? So this is what the author is, it's the author's message about society based on this book that she's writing. Okay, so you're gonna watch me as I kind of go through these steps to infer a central theme. This is definitely something I noticed in our on-demand or our timed write paragraph today and yesterday. The theme is like a hard thing to get to sometimes, and sometimes like we kind of stop before we really state what the theme is. So we're going to practice that today, and then we will be reviewing these answers next week. And you will be accountable for answering these questions like in our discussion in class next week. So please make sure that you actually do this work. All right, so steps to infer a central theme. My first step with anything really when it comes to English is to closely read and annotate the passage. So we're in chapter 5. I think chapter 5. Page 81 is where we're starting. So I have closely annotated this passage for ideas that are repeated, things that seem important, author's choices that I think are interesting, So first step, step one, closely read and annotate whatever passage you're being asked to annotate. Closely read and annotate the passage. Step one. Write that down. Okay. Pause, write it down. Step one, closely read and annotate the passage. Okay. Step two, I want to look for those kind of repeated ideas to identify like the topic of the passage. These are not necessarily repeated words, it's repeated ideas. So going through this passage, I notice that some repeated ideas are that these girls that she is describing are brown, like light-skinned, right? She describes them as brown girls with like brown skin, not black girls. They come from like the rural South where, you know, in these like quiet neighborhoods, so middle class, right? She is kind of like emphasizing this idea that these houses are very nice and there's pots of flowers and, you know, that they come from nice places, these sugar brown Mobile girls, right? That they're sweet and plain as butter cake. So, right, middle class roots, light skinned. They straighten their hair. They learn how to do everything with refinement. So they basically, the other repeated idea is that they care a lot about their appearance. And they care about their appearance in a way that lives up to white standards. And manners, right? How to behave. So that's another repeated idea. They try to suppress anything that's too black, right? Is what's implied in this passage right here. They hold their behind in for fear of a sway too free. When they wear lipstick, they never cover the entire mouth for fear of lips too thick. And they worry about the edges of their hair, right? So all these like black features, they work on suppressing them. So again, step two was to identify the topic of the passage by looking for repeated ideas. So identify the topic of the passage by looking for repeated ideas. That is step two. Write that down. Okay. Step three is to then take those repeated ideas and summarize the passage, summarize the author's central ideas in the passage. So based on everything I read, right, all these like societal standards that these women want to live up to, and then at the end, right, we have this whole paragraph about how she does not have like intimacy or closeness with her husband because of these like kind of standards that she feels she must live up to. So based on all these details, my summary that I wrote is here. So summary should be no more than like 2 or 3 sentences. So Morrison provides a plethora, meaning a lot of detail, that characterize a specific type of Black woman such as Geraldine. She comes from the rural South, is light-skinned, middle class, takes extraordinary care of her appearance and the appearance of her home, and fights to suppress her Blackness, such as her natural hair, and to live up to white standards. This prevents her from being really close with her husband. So that is my summary of the passage. So again, step 3 is to summarize the central, most important ideas in the passage. Write that down. Step 3, summarize the central ideas in the passage. And then step 4 is to draw a conclusion, right? Make an inference about the social commentary, which again, another word for theme, by relating those details, that summary, and the author's choices in the passage to the thematic topic, right? And we know our thematic topics are all related to race, beauty, social standards, and expectations. So through this characterization of these women like Geraldine, what social commentary is Morrison making? So my answer to this is based on all those details that I picked out of the passage, based on those central ideas about, these Black women who want to suppress their Blackness, and as a consequence, like can't be close with their husbands in various ways. So the social commentary, right? I'm connecting all those details to the thematic topic of like race and beauty and social expectations. And I am saying through this characterization, Morrison makes the social commentary that those who suppress their Blackness in order to live up to the white standard of society lose their true humanity and cannot be truly close to others around them. So I'm going beyond just like people want to live up to white standards, right? That's a true theme. That is a social commentary. But try to make it more complex, right? What happens as a consequence of that, right? These women want to live up to these standards, but what does that do to their lives and their relationships? So again, step 4, the last step, you are making an inference about the theme, the social commentary, by connecting all these details to our thematic topics that we have been talking about. So write that down. Step 4, make an inference about the theme or social commentary by connecting the details in the passage to our big thematic topics, such as race and beauty and social expectations. And that is how you infer a central theme. So all those steps should be written down right now. If you need to go back and rewind. You can use the transcript of this YouTube video. I do not care. Write down the steps to infer a central theme, and then you're going to use those steps to complete these practice rounds down here. So there's 2 more sections from this chapter that you're going to look at. So page 86 and then page 89, 2 more passages. These are in the physical book. I will add the PDF page numbers as well. So yeah, these should be complete. So summary and what is the social commentary that Morrison is making in these passages. These should be complete by our next class, and you will be responsible for discussing your answers to these questions. So please make sure you get them done. All right, have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you next week.